one of a kind. They don't see it, I pull out their eyes. I'm on a rise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. So ladies and gentlemen, today we are doing a new series on our channel. We're going to be doing server reviews on servers on DayZ. Okay, and I might extend this to Scum as well. I think it'll be pretty nice for Scum to get this as well. DayZ, I won't be doing it on any time soon until we know what's happening with this update. But I will have another video coming out for the DayZ update today as well. But this is DayZ server review. So I've got the Explorer. I've got that out of the way. So the server we are jumping on is called OUTLAST. I've been playing on it now for about a month. I joined it luckily like 3 days after wipe, so I got actually a nice feel with everyone being on the same level basically when I joined the server to the server. And I've got to give thanks to everyone that joined me, Stop Crying, Bullets, and even Marksman closer to the end. Yeah, but the server is OUTLAST. I will have all their links in the description below if you want to go check it out. So that's the server done. I've got a little checklist. Now how this is actually going to work is I'm going to like rate the server for every part of the server. I've tried to get this all, everything that I can think of down so I can rate it. First is the map. Is the map easy to traverse? Is the map nicely laid out? Okay, so it's Chernarusplus, I think, if I remember correctly. So nothing fancy to it. The map is a Chernarus map. Yeah, it's pretty well. It's Chernarus. Everyone loves Chernarus. I love Chernarus. Nothing fancy about that. So my rating for that is a 7. So basically 1 would be horrible, 10 would be excellent in this rating system. The map is Chernarus. It's easy. We all love Chernarus. We all know Chernarus pretty well. So it's a 7. Getting started in the server. Now, this is the tricky part. There is loot scattered around. And I've also noticed on the server it's also tier-based loot. So the higher you go up, the better equipment you'll find, and you will, every now and then they've got little tats and little sprinkles of high tier loot in the lower areas, like in tier 1 and tier 2 and that. So but it is pretty easy to find loot. It is pretty easy to find, and remember this is a PvE server, so I don't know if I'll be moving to PvP, but so far it's PvE. So loot is pretty easy to find. You do find guns, you do find ammo, you do find stuff. It's very nice, and you do, while you're doing your runabouts and that, you do explore and you do find things. So you can get geared with the basic gear quite easily. You can find the basic guns very nicely, which is what I actually like, because you don't spawn in the coast and you'll end up finding a Barrett in a civilian house. It is pretty well balanced, the server, on that aspect, and I do really appreciate that the owners and them took the time to actually balance the server like that. So that is that part. POIs, are they modded? So if you go to Balota, there is a bit of modded. Balota is changed quite a bit. There's quite a lot of interesting points at Balota. There's a lot of interesting things to do at Balota. If you go up to Northwest Airfield, I didn't see it really being modded that heavy, but it's still standard Northwest Airfield. If you go up to Tissy I didn't see is heavy modded, but there are some secrets, and even at Balota and at Northwest Airfield, I'm not going to give everything away, and other military bases, but they are modded. There are modded POIs and that, planes of interest in the game, which is very nice. It's unique, and it's not over modded like we do see on a lot of servers. It's just, in my opinion, modded nicely. They are not, when you're running there you got to stand a half an hour for everything to load in first. It is just enough modded, and it is very good. I do like that. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I do like that. That is very, very good. So coming back to the rating, on getting started, I gave it an 8 because it is pretty easy. POIs, points of interest that are modded, I gave it a 7 because I think they could change it up a little bit to make it a bit more interesting. They could add a couple of more things, but overall it's still very well modded, and I do like it. And there is enough protection for you to get away from zombies, to climb on something, and etc. So, and there is some little hidden things between there that if you just loot up enough, you will find, especially in early start when you just start out in the server. Yeah, the towns as well. The towns and that aren't really modded, so I don't expect much from towns, but you do find interesting things, and suggest that you search the towns and that when you especially get started in the early game on the server, for reasons that I will get to just now. So I gave that a rating of 7. Next will be replayability. Now, a big problem with a lot of servers is that you come into the server, especially PvE servers, you come into the server and you just come in, the first building you literally run into, you find everything you want, and there's no replayability to that. And this server, unfortunately, has got that, not unfortunately, fortunately, it has got that replayability. You're never going to find everything that you want on your first playthrough. If you play for 8 hours, or you play for 6 hours, or you play for 1 hour, you are not going to find everything. Sorry guys. You're going to have to literally get out there and loot for the things you want. You're going to have to get out there, explore the map, learn what things are, and try figure it out for yourself, because I'll get to that why I say try figure it out for yourself now, just now. You're going to have to get there and figure it out, and it's not very easy to get started, but once you have got once you start exploring, you've been to the traders, you've seen things, you've heard things, you've checked the chat, and that, then you start figuring it out. So for replayability, I gave it a 9 because there is a lot in this game, in the server, to actually like get to. Things to do. Now, this is another part of this. There's quite a bit to do. There's quite a bit to explore. So I'm not going to go much into it. I'm just going to give that a rating of 9. That comes back to the replayability. There's a lot in the server, and it's not overly done and it's not underdone. I feel it's just right done. Could be a few more twists and that, as you will see in our recorded footage. Some things could be made a bit harder, other things could be made a bit easier, and all of that. So yeah, the learning curve is quite steep. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Learning the map is got quite a bit of a steep thing. Figuring out what is what, where, who, how. There is a bit of a learning curve. So it's not just as easy as 1, 2, 3. You come in, you run to one trader, and you get everything. There's a lot more to the server. Like, you've got these Section X coins that can buy certain objects with, which is a very unique system. I've never seen that on any other server. And you've got the bunkers, the R1 and R2 bunkers, that you need to do certain things to get access to them. You've got tier 1 key cards, you've got tier 2 key cards, you've got tier 3 key cards, you've got tier 4 key cards, which have all got their rarity and their spawns very interesting, and the way you collect them. So there is a bit of a learning curve, and I always say take the time to figure it out. Take the time to do it, even though it might be hard and you might get hurtful because or tired because you're not getting everything off the bat that you need to get a base down. But there's good reason for that, and I do appreciate that the server has done that. So yeah, the learning curve is pretty high, and I do like it. So depending on who you ask, like for me, I preferably like that type of thing. So I gave it for myself a high rating of 9, but other people don't like that, so I've also given it, for other people that don't like it, a rating of 5. But I personally do enjoy that learning curve, that way of doing things, figuring out things, and that I don't like it when it's all just given to you. Now, to get to do these unique special locations in the game, there's this thing in the game called missions, survivor missions. So you basically need to find a two-way radio, and you need to have a battery in it. And the survivor missions, we've seen them, they have been on a couple of servers, but I haven't seen them in a while. And you go do these missions, then you find special gear by these survivor missions, which will grant you, I'm not trying to give too much away on the server, I'm just trying to give enough away, that will grant you access to these special locations like R1, R2 bunker, and the special islands off the coast that you got to teleport to, and all of that. And you can also find these keys that I was talking about, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 keys by killing zombies, which will also give you these special items. But the best way that we found to do it is to do missions, and majority of the people on the server also are veteran players from like wipes back, so they know precisely doing those missions get you there quicker, and that's how you do it. And they're very unique, very interesting to get to and to do. It's a bit of a challenge, especially in early game when you just start out, but if you can do it, go for it. It's the best way to do it. For that, I've given them a 9 on that, just because it helps that progression system to move up on the server, to move further and further and further into the server. I just like that for a PvE server, that there's a progression system. I mean, like I've said before, many PvE servers, you just, everything's on the coast. You find barrets, you find alligators, you find everything there, and I want that progression system. I like that. That is how it should be, and that's how it should be played. So, very cool. So the trader system, I gave that a 9, ladies and gentlemen, for me, because that's very nice. The trader system. Now, the trader system is one of the things I do not really like on the server. Nothing wrong with the trader. They use the stock standard traders like every other server, but it's all over the place. You've got like one trader by Berezino, you've got another trader at Green Mountain, then you've got a weapons trader, you've got a special items trader, you've got like your, what you would call the black market trader, but you've got a civilian trader on the coast, you've got a trader at Green Mountain. Okay, then you've got one weapon trader on the north side of the map, I think it is, or south side, or and you've got a weapon trader on the other side of the map, far from each other. And then you've got also your hunter traders, which are also far spread out. You've got 2 of them far spread out. And you have got with them like your black market trader a couple of 100 meters away from your weapons trader. And then you've got your secret trader, which is pretty close to your black market trader. I don't like that type of system. And you've got your P2P trader at the civilian trader. I don't like the way they've implemented. I prefer a trader being centralized in one place on a server. This is just my opinion. Especially on a server that is progression based like this. You don't want to spend time running to 20 different traders to sell some things. It is not cool. I do not like that. I want to get progression going. I want to get things done. I want to go move up on the server. I don't want to spend half of my playtime just running around from one trader to the next trader to sell 20 things, and it's very hard to keep track of what gets sold where. So you got to sell your guns at this guy, you got to sell your weed at this guy, you got to sell your things at this guy, your hunter is this guy. I just don't like it. But one thing I will agree with the traders is you can't buy everything from the traders. Okay, they've got things locked. A majority of the stuff is locked at the traders. You can't buy, which I do agree with. But it's not as bad as some servers where I've logged on to and played, where you can't even buy food. You know, I've always said in a server, you need to be able to buy your basics. And your starting money that you start off on the server is very little. It's like 10,000. So I do give them goods. That's just enough to buy food and a bit of medical supplies. Not, you can't buy a gun. You can maybe buy a little bit of ammo, but the stuff is very expensive. I mean, food costs you anything from 200 to 250 of the currency they use in the game. So medical supplies, you can't buy all the medical supplies. You can only buy certain supplies. So I do give them codes for that. I do like that system. I do agree that you should be able just to buy the basic stuff like food to help you survive, especially if you a new spawn, because when you're new and you just spawn in with a knife, it's not going to be easy to kill some of these zombies on the server. I remember smacking one so many times till my knife broke, and I was like, okay, I can do nothing now. What I have to do is outrun it. And zombies do spawn food and that, but when you're early and you haven't got a gun, that is a bit of a problem. So I do like the way they've set it, that you can only buy the basics. I just don't like the way they've set up the whole trading system so far away. Next thing is, it's a small pop server. It's only a 50 player server, so it's slow pop, not too small, not too big, still a reasonable amount of players. But people don't use, and this is something I would like the server owners, if he ever does watch this or listen to this, to try encourage more, is player to player interaction. I remember when I used to play on Bear Mountain, before Bear Mountain went all haywire. That is what made that server so unique, even though you found everything from spawn. But what made that server so nice was you had that player-to-player interaction all the time on that server. I mean, people were looking for something. They were like in the chat, I'm looking for this. And then 20 people say, no, I can give it to you. And, you know, you had that whole time, that player-to-player interaction. And that is something that I feel in a PvE server is very important. Player-to-player interaction, using the P2P trader. I mean, I was telling to stop crying. If I ever have to get a DayZ server set up, which I would like to do, I was hoping this year, but I don't know if it'll happen this year. I'm going to make my whole marketplace player-to-player interactive. There will be normal traders there, but you won't be able to do anything really with them. I want the server to be player-to-player interactive. I want players to communicate with each other. I want players to do deals with each other. I want things to go like that. And there's not much of it on this server. So if you're a social person and you want that type of thing, unless you are from their native country, which it is a German server, you will fit in well. But as an outsider, an English person from outside, you don't really fit in well. Yeah, there are a couple of people on the server that will help you and will chat to you, but majority of them, they don't even reply if you're looking for something on the server and that. So the player-to-player interaction is not really there. It's very little. If I have to rate that all on its own, I would give that a rating of like 4. Yeah, so that's a rating of 4. The traders are a rating of 5. That's just how I feel about that. Next is special POIs. Now, I've said in the chat earlier, there are special POIs and it's all progression based. So doing missions will lead to those special POIs, and I'm not going to give out information. If you want to check it out, like I said, the links will be below. You can go and have a look at it and download the mods and you can hop in. There is a lot to do. There's a lot to explore, and it doesn't happen overnight. You might take 1 or 2 days to grind out for one special POI to go in there. You might grind out for 20 minutes, depends how lucky you are, with the loot spawn in those missions and that, which is heavy random, no guarantee of what you will get. So yeah, you could grind for a whole day, you could grind for 20 minutes if you're lucky, you could grind for 2 days to go see those POIs. It's just, there is a lot to do, and it comes back to replayability, and it comes back that they've set it up very nice and it's progression based. I do like that, and I gave that a rating of 9. We did cover the players on the server. I did give that a rating of 4. I should jump ahead a bit. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems on the server is the player-to-player interaction. There's not much of it. If you're not German and you're not with these people, the old folks that play on, I'm not calling them old, I'm just saying for the veterans of the server, if they don't know you and you haven't been playing with them and you don't speak their language, it is not that great. You're gonna have a hard time like we did. We really had a hard time from bullying tactics by people. When you type in the chat you're looking for something, people will get upset with you, and if you want to start an argument with you, telling you irritating, use the P2P trader, but no one is using the P2P trader. Really, they just a lot of crap on the P2P trader. So there's no real player-to-player interaction on the server. It's very hard. You'll see in the chat that the veterans of the server will have interaction between them, but for a newer player, like I said, an Englishman like me that doesn't speak German or from outside of Europe, even my American teammates that I play with, we pick that up, and that is a very big problem on the server, and I think that's what will hold people back from the server. But yeah, it's a rating of 4. I will not give it any higher at this present moment, the way that it's going. Very, very bad. Admins. Now, when we join a server, we all want a good admins. Helpful admins. I've played on servers where admins, you just type in the chat, and I love this. When you type in the chat and you say you need help with an admin, and the guy, the woman or the guy is there, and they are like willing to help you, willing to give you information, willing to tell you, just guide you through the server, especially a server with a bit more of a complex layout that's got actual things to do. It's just nice having those type of people. And unfortunately, I've made several tickets on the server, and I'm not going to name and shame the admins or say they're bad at their job. I'm guessing for several factors. It could be language barrier. It could be that they feel it was a waste of their time to look into that ticket. I don't know. I'm not going to give the reasons why I opened the ticket. I just kind of feel the admins aren't very helpful and very friendly and very good. But I've opened few tickets and it was nothing really major what I opened the tickets about. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's everyone's own opinions on admins, and that it's just how I feel. I don't think the admins are really admins. They're more people that are just there doing a task for a friend or something. Yeah, it's not like one of these bigger servers where admins, I don't think they get paid. But yeah, administration is pretty bad. The admins, I don't really like them. I try not to use them if I don't have to. If I pick up a problem, I'll just leave it. I won't say anything and I'll just carry on after my last ticket. So yeah, but I'm guessing if you do really need their help, they will be there to help you. Time responses on tickets, I can't really tell you. Some tickets took long, some tickets were quick. The 3 tickets or 4 tickets I made. So it could be a number of factors. Like I said, it could be the language barrier, the way I write or spell things, the way they see it coming forward. You never know. That's why I say I prefer the interactor from an admin. You ask in chat, is admin there? Global chat, and the admin comes to you and you can talk properly with him instead of working through a ticket. I do not like the ticket system. I've never liked it because it leads just to more problems. Not everyone sees things the same. Not everyone types the things the same. Not everyone says the things in the same way. So it could be a number of factors, but for me, my personal view, it's a 4 for the admins. Now, unique things, and when I mean unique things, I mean unique items in the game. Like, what is unique besides from a Barrett and that type of thing? Really unique items, and there are a couple. in the server. There are a couple of unique items that you can find, and it's all again comes back to what I really do like is the progression system. To get those unique items, you need to progress through the missions, the POIs, and then you start getting these unique items, and they've all got their own challenges, and they've all got their own ways of spawning in and their rarity. So these unique items, and that's one of the things that keeps you going on the server is, am I gonna find one of those unique items? That I do like, and I do think it is pretty cool. So I've rated that a 7, and they're not easy to find. We've only found one of them, and Stop Crying I saw last night was running with it. So yeah, there are unique items that you can find on the server, and they are very rare and very hard to find, but very rewarding once you found one. So server lag and crashes. Okay, this is a big one for a lot of people. I know that. For me, it's also a big one. Playing with a ping of like 280, 300. It is a big problem. So lag, there are sometimes lag spikes. But the admins, I will say, that post in their Discord that people mustn't use certain items too much after each other because it hampers performance on the server and makes the server lag, which is understandable. You know, logic, you can think for yourself. If I do 20 of these certain things, which I'm not going to say to you, will cause the server. So it's normally greedy little bastards that will do such stuff, and arseholes. But the server is pretty overall well balanced. I've got lag spikes when I reach like big cities and when there's lots of things happening at a certain place. I do have the usual little lag spike. Crashes, I don't ever remember in the 3 weeks or nearly a month that I've been playing on the server or something like that there has been a crash on the server. The server runs very well optimized, and it plays very well. Last night I had a bit of lag. Don't know why, it's just, I don't know, it happens. I think, like I said, I'm playing with like a ping of 300, so it could be because of that as well, but very well optimized in my opinion. I've played on worse servers and with worse lag and with crashes and that, so very good. That is pretty well managed, I will hand it to them. And the admins do find these things and do post in Discord, please cut down doing that, it's causing server. So and they only did that once, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on that, that they did that. So my overall thoughts on OUTLAST server on DayZ, I'm gonna rate it at 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Besides all the little other problems that we have discussed about, like the admins, there's no real player-to-player interaction on the server. That's what hampered the server for me the most. But I could overlook that because there were so many other things to do on the server that kept me busy, and I was playing it with my friends, my buddies, my teammates, which made it just a bit more enjoyable. I could ignore those people, even though there were certain ones that were looking for shit. I could ignore them. I could ignore the people stealing loot from under you when you were doing missions and that. I could ignore that and just carry on. And just carry on playing the game like I want to, and the freedom to do what I want to, because we had already built up our stash. We got everything to do those higher tier missions. We've got it all there to go do them, to get the best of the best gear. So our grind paid out for us, and that's what you do when I stream on weekends and I stream this on the server. That is what you see we do it. We grind out in the week, and then on weekends when we stream, we use that stuff to show off the server and stuff to do. So we've got everything that we need to do those missions. It's not like they will harm us or anything like that. It's already there. We're not worried. We've grinded out for it. We've got it. It's pretty cool. But those are the points that are hurting the server, and I've been on servers where players like that would be heavily punished for that type of thing when you first at the mission and then someone else just comes in and steals the loot. It's happened to us several times, especially in the last couple of days. But yeah, it's something that will happen. There's nothing you can do about it. But those are the type of things that are hurting the server. But overall, the server is very good. It's got a replayability. If you're playing it with your friends, it is a lot of fun to get out there and to explore that server, and to explore the server Outlast. It is a lot to do, a lot to see, a lot of adventures you can have. There's even little side quests that you run across and all of that. There's just an absolute fantastic amount of content in the server that is so well balanced to make the server run smooth. Like I said, I do give it to the owners of the server. I'm not precisely sure. I think the owner is Thomas 2000 or something like that, for setting it up so well. And I do really recommend anyone that's looking for a good PvE server to want to bang a couple of hours on before you go back to your PvP sweaty grind. This is a very good server for you to come and play. If the people do irritate you, I'm sorry about that. There's nothing you can do about it, but you can always just move on to another server. But for me personally, it didn't affect me so much. The server was so well balanced and things were so you after a while you could figure out what is going on, how to get things done. And occasionally when you do get that guy that talks to you, a veteran, and that does explain something to you, you figure out more and more about the server, or you come across someone and they will talk to you. But further, the server is very good. I do recommend you go check it out. Go give the server owners some love. Let his server pop off. We've been seeing it's been running here between 15 and 27 players average. So I would like to really see that go up higher, because the appreciation that I've got for the effort that was put into the server is really unbelievable. They did really put their heart and their effort, and this is for how, as far as I care, this is how a PvE server should be set up. It shouldn't be easy, it shouldn't be hard. There should be a lot to do, there should be things to explore, things to see, and there should be player interaction. That is for me a perfect server. So this one almost nailed it on the head for me, but we'll have to see what will be in the next one. So this will be a continuous series. I'll be doing it on more servers. I don't know if the group will move on with me when this journey comes to an end. I don't know, but it's very hard to find very good servers. But this is a very good server, and I do recommend, if you are interested in such servers, to go give it a look, go give it a go. Don't just log in for one day and say it's crap. Give it time, play it, learn the server. You'll see it is very fun, very interesting. I'm gonna have recording of us doing specials, mission. Another thing that we need to touch on also, ladies and gentlemen, is that another thing that I will put in the video, and I would make a suggestion for, is that special things should reset a lot quicker than what they do. It looks like to me now special looted items that you find keys and that for reset only after restart, and I do not like it, because it's like a case with us. We sit in with like a certain 20 of a certain key, and we can't use it because every time we get there it's already been looted. So that is something that I think the owner should work on and try get to a faster reset on that, or decrease the number of spawns of certain items. But yeah, that is just something he needs to work on, because I just feel like, what's the use of having 20 of each type of key and key card, and you can't use it because someone's already done it before you, they were quicker than you to that point of interest. And I feel that is something that's going to chase away players. But hopefully you've got the will in you to do the grind and to get your opportunity and to do it. But I feel that's something the owners should work on and should also try fix. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing. And all of that played in the background with my voice going. So yeah, Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to check out our links to our Discord, our X, our Patreon, our PayPal, and all our other social medias. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about the video. The owners of the server, I am not sponsored by them. I'm not paid by them. They do not even know I'm doing this. They know I'm a YouTuber. They know I stream on the server, but they don't know I'm doing this rating video. No one knows this is a new series I'm starting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Keep well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.